Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and welcome to another review, this time of the sequel, The Transporter 2. Now this review will probably, this and this one will be, well, this was more rant, well, that'll probably be shorter than the first one, because the first Transporter review, I wanted to talk more about Jason Statham, his career, what films of his I like and don't like, and sort of his introduction, that sort of thing. If you haven't seen my review of the first film, I enjoy the first Transporter movie. I thought Matt Schultz was a decent bad guy. Jason Statham, great in the role. Really the one that helped him get into stardom. Really solid fight choreography, well directed, understood what was going on. Yeah, I mean, it's not realistic. None of these films are. There are some plot holes you can drive a truck through. I mean, there's two containers of people. One disappears into fucking thin air. We're happy to it. But still, entertaining, fun popcorn movie. And The Transporter 2, once again, like the first film, I saw the trailer, was really pumped after seeing the trailer, made me go see the film. In the first film, the trailer had the song Ricochet, Ricochet off the wall, y'all, we're gonna brawl, brawl, by Bionic Jive. This one, the trailer was a guy named Toby Mac, the song called The Slam. This is the slam! This is the one! It didn't got me pumped up. He's like, hey Matt, go see this in the theater. So I saw this in the theater, had a lot of fun with it. And even watching it today, it was a lot of fun. I'm not sure which I like more, this or the first one. I might lean a little more towards this one. It's definitely the most fastest paced of any of the Transporter flicks. Of course, it helps that the film is very short. I think someone was telling me there's an unrated version of this, but I couldn't find it. And I know this is deleted in extended scenes. And I don't know how much they really put back in, whatever that uncut version is. Because a lot of times it could be bullshit. And once again, this is a flipper disc like the first film. On one side, it's a full screen. The other side is widescreen. Has a little making of from back in the day, making of the music, featurette, blooper reel, and deleted and extended scenes. But yeah, this film is not that long at all. If you take away the end credits, this film is like an hour and 19 minutes. I mean, it says 87 minutes here, but again, really it's like an hour and 19 minutes if you chop off the end credits. Credits. Try to say the fucking word right. But yeah, it's a very short movie, and it goes by in a very fast pace. And the reason I keep repeating that is because pacing is what action films at times really need. Because if they're bloated, and if they're filled to the brim with bullshit, then you start to smell it. Because it starts pouring out like fucking cream cheese out of... I'm not getting into that. But it'll fucking pour out like a fucking puss. Here's a pizza face zit and just squirting on your face, just pulsing out. And each little fucking pus bucket, scanner style, will explode. That's a disgusting feeling. That's an ugly feeling. Exactly. You don't want that. If it needs the fat cut out the fat. And this definitely cut out the fat. And yeah, you're not going to the Transporter 2 for the pontificating ideas and ideals, for heartfelt plots. You're going to see if Jason Statham can get the shit out of a lot of people, and he definitely does in this. Now, I don't know if Corey Yuen came back for this, because I could not find his name. This time, it's not directed by Corey Yuen, at least it doesn't say that. Here it just says it's directed by Louis Leterrier. But for the life of me, I could not find Corey Yuen's name on this. Oh, yep. Martial arts choreography, Corey Yuen. Now I found it when I did this. But for some reason, I was looking on the credits, I couldn't find it. I must have just blinked and missed it. But yep, right here, martial arts choreography. Jason Statham's character, he's pretty much now, he's working this job for the past month to help this kid, drive this kid around, and also to work for this wealthy family. Movie takes place in Miami, and the father, who's an asshole, a dickhead, is played by Matthew Modine, which is weird because it's like, wow, you went from working with Stanley Kubrick, that's the star of Full Metal Jacket, and now you're just some dick in the background of the Transporter 2. And I enjoy the Transporter 2. It just really shows you how far Matthew Modine sort of, like, did he have a time? But, you know, starring in a Stanley Kubrick big-budget war film, Vietnam War flick, if that was a time, it would be that. And then you just, you know, Pacific Heights, and now you're just in the background as just dickhead father in Transporter 2. And if you blink, you'll miss Keith David's role, too. Keith David is in the background. He maybe has 3 scenes as just this cop, this detective. He's not even worked into the plot. He doesn't have any scenes with Jason Statham. And it's like, that's Keith David. What the fuck? He's given really nothing to do. It's like he's fucking Keith David from The Thing and They Live. So it's weird seeing some of these guys way in the background and nothing roles. It's cool to see him in there, but it's like, wow, you didn't give him anything to do. But yeah, I mean, the movie goes at, I'll say this for the final time, very fast pace. And right for the beginning, Jason Statham's in a car. People try to fuck with him because they want to steal it. He fucks their shit up, kisses shit out of them. It's not their day. And the scenes with the kid are cute. Playing a game, one of those games, sort of riddles. Like, I'm light sometimes, I'm dark sometimes. Sometimes you see me, sometimes you don't. I'm white and I'm round, and either way it leads to the moon, is what I'm getting at. And he plays these sort of riddle games with the kid, and the kid's having fun. And the mother, she was pretty good. I forget what the hell her name was, though. Amber Valletta, or was it Kate Nauta? Anyway, the woman who played the mother character, she was nice, she was kind, had a little thing for Jason Statham's character, but Jason Statham respects her and doesn't take advantage, and she thanks him pretty quickly after that. But of all the women in Transporter films, I thought she did the best. Like, she was the most likable, and she was the strongest actress. Definitely when you get to the third one. And even the first one, I thought this woman here did the best job. She was, again, the most likable. And pretty quickly, he has to take the kid to the doctor's office. And one of the bad guys is an actor named Jason Flemyng, which if you look him up, he's been in quite a few stuff. It's like, Jason Flemyng. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I know he's been... he's a guy, like, I recognize that guy. And, yeah, I tried to look it up, but hell, you guys know IMDb. You just put in Transporter 2, IMDb, you clicked on it, Jason Flemyng, oh, it's that guy. I mean, you guys can do it. That way I'm not fumbling around, what is this? And fucking load, damn computer. But what makes this film work is just, it knows what it is. It just wants to entertain you with Jason Statham having his presence, charisma, being a badass, and have well done fight sequences, stunt sequences, and action sequences in about 79 minutes. An hour and 19 minutes of just that. And the plot, I mean, it deals with kidnapping this kid to give him this virus. And it's this virus that will start in a few hours and then infects anyone it breathes. And then you need the cure. And then Jason Statham gets infected, but then he never shows it. We never see him sick or cough. And then you're like, wow, there's a lot of people at this conference, and Matthew Modine, who's like this big official. And it's like, wow, that would have infected a lot of people, and were they on a plane, and would they infect people if they left the conference and maybe took a plane afterwards? If you think about it, your head will explode and be like, really? But if you look at it as, but that's the thing, yeah, I pick on a lot of films that do that kind of shit, only when they're not entertaining. I mean, at the end of the day, I do want just entertainment. To have fun, have a smile on my face, be energized by the action, have a lead guy that I like and can root for, not bored to shit out of me. And if you do that, I'll forgive you for stuff. If you don't bore the shit out of me, I'll forgive you for some stuff that in the plot that's kind of like, huh? If you have a lead guy that I like, I'll forgive you for stuff. And if you have action scenes that give me like, yeah, that was worth my money, and that was worth my time in the theater, it's worth my time now, then I'll forgive you for your trespasses. You have, or if you're Jewish or whatever. I don't know why I did this. I guess for some reason I thought Jewish is with Valentine, so I made a heart figure. I don't know. Whatever you believe in, hey, whatever it is, I forgive you as long as you entertain. It is entertainment. But if you don't do that, then I'm going to fucking put you in the meat grinder. And I'm not going to hold back. But this one I thought did the entertainment fun factor well. I mean, right, the bad guy's sort of henchwoman is this, I like her look. Has this heavy eyeshadow and the stringy hair and barely any clothes on. Has these Uzi pistols with silencers, and she definitely has a nice look of the evil henchwoman. Just I like her look to it. And again, not realistic, but if it's fun, it's fun. For example, Jason Statham gets this tank and puts it on and needs a light, so he hits this light and the sparks hit the tank and it shoots out, almost hits the henchwoman, blows up, fighting these guys back and forth, going through walls. They escapes with the kid, but then he's about ready to drive the kid to get to his mom, but then the bad guy calls him and says, hey, if you go, I know your car's bulletproof, but I got a bullet that can go through that shit. And then let this, my barely naked, almost naked ass woman that's right there, let her in. And then you get in a car chase, a fun little car chase. You did it very over top. I swear, some of the shit they stole for Furious 7, which is funny because Jason Statham's in Furious 7. There's 2 scenes that I swear that stole from this. Which I know I complain about that being too much. I didn't watch this film. Here's the 2 things. One, during this chase scene, they drive the car from one building into another. Only Furious 7 did that like 4 times. Here, it drove down into a building, so you get some wonky CGI in that little bit, but then you see the real car and flipping over to these beams. It's like a construction type of... It's building under construction. And that's one of the gripes I do have, is some of the wonky CGI. Like when it goes from A to B, the car, and then there's like a helicopter, and the henchwoman shoots the helicopter, and it blows up. And there's really badly done CGI in that explosion. So there's, some of the wonky CG could have been cut out. I can't forgive her for that. But it's a little thing, because most of the action is practical, is well done, it's well choreographed, it's well edited. I understood what was going on. It's not like fucking Olivier Megaton's ass, which I'll get to in part 3, which is the reason why I hate that fucking movie. As well as pretty much anything that fucking guy's done. He ruined the Taken sequels, Colombiana was a piece of shit, and Transporter 3 was a piece of shit, and that director's a piece of shit. I know some people get mad, it's like, well, you're being so mean to some of these directors. Well, you know what? They had the chance, they blew it. Maybe they shouldn't be fucking coddled. Maybe someone needs a fucking red hot poker up their ass to jumpstart their shit. I'm sorry that Luc Besson and Robert Marquand is fucking massaging Olivier Mediton's asshole in and out, feast fuck style. Which when I get to the third one, I'll get more into. Maybe they weren't doing that. They realized, cut the shit out. Maybe he made better movies. But save that for the next time. The fight scenes are well done. I mean, yeah, that CGI bit was wanty, but the rest of it was practical, pretty much. And the other scene they stole for Fury 7 is later on there's a bomb, and Jason Statham hits the car, and there's a, what do you call it, like a hook, and he does this, the bomb's on the car, and he flips the car so it does this and hits the bomb. And you're wondering, that doesn't happen in Fury 7. Granted, it wasn't a bomb, but remember the scene at the end when Vin Diesel's driving off and does this thing, and he hits those fucking grenades on the bottom of the helicopter? Same difference. Instead of wiping the bomb off the bottom of Jason Statham's car, Vin Diesel does that to hook some grenades onto the helicopter. I'm like, I knew that looked familiar. It's pretty much the same fucking scene in this. Not the exact, but it definitely reminded me of it. But anyway, after that car chase, pretty much he has to take the kid to the bad guy. And the bad guy is not as good as Matt Schultz in the first one. The bad guy here is pretty forgettable. He's pretty forgettable. He's not that much to it. And when you're out the other bad guy, it's funny, there's a scene that the first time we see him, he's in this garb, like training samurai style with these guys. Is what, not a sword, but was it Boken? Is that how you call it? One of those training sword things. And that never comes into play. Because he has one fight scene with Jason Statham at the end, it's inside of a cramped plane. And Jason Statham beats the shit out of him. So, I don't know why you added all this thing for the character the first time we see this bad guy, because he never uses it. It never comes into play. He doesn't get in a sword fight with Jason Statham. So, the wanty CGI at times and the ho-hum bad guy are my two gripes with it. Kind of like in the first film, I had some gripes with it. But still, it does what it intends to do. They let him go. They have a bomb. He gets the bomb off his car. Very over the top style. Looks for clues. Find the syringe. These cops fuck it up. Break it. So he beats these guys' ass. Makes a fake syringe. Goes find Jason Fleming's character. Gets an entertaining fight scene. Not fight scene, but car chase scene. Not even car chase. It's a foot chase, but then it leads into a steed chase. Which, now that I think about it, did Triple X Day of the Union come out the same year as this? Because it reminded me of that, where Ice Cube, he was on the water and it went onto the street, but he was in a boat while this was... I thought this was done better in this movie, where Jason Statham, there's a girl, he flips her over safely, but over his head so he can get on the jet ski, drives it, then goes up and it slides, and he's sliding on it, jumps into the bus that Jason Fleming's on, stabs him with it. Guy's like, you don't know what you've done. He did this so he can follow the guy and find out what's going on, which is how he finds out about this whole virus thing. Which I'm sure if you use your brain, your thinking cap, there's about 10 things you'd be, well, 20 things you'd be like, wait a minute, what? But either you go with it or you don't. And I was having fun, so I went with it. Before he meets with Jason Fleming, gets in the fight with this big guy, thought it was a very entertaining fight. gets these melons on his fist, beats the shit out of him with these melons on his fist. It sounds stupid, but some of those melons can be pretty damn hard and take a good pounding. Hides in this boat that's nearby and beats the shit out of the guy. Well done. Hits some uppercut and the guy bangs his head on. Kicks him nuts. Beats the fuck out of him. Gets him, slams his ass into the window of the boat, which is collapsing. Jason gets out of the way and the guy gets crushed to death. Meets with Jason Flemyng. Takes like the gun slide, stabs him right in the neck. Grabs these vials. The other asshole there throws them. Jason Statham grabs it, and that's where you get that scene where he grabs it and lands right on the taxi cab, like crushing the top of it. One breaks, he gets the other vial, the antidote, able to go back, give it to the kid, realize what's going on, don't get the rest of it, and now he's pissed and he's going to kick some ass, which he does. First in a garage, fucking up people, uses his pipe as a bow, kicking people left and right, fucking their day up. And then my favorite part is the next scene where he's in with a fire hose. I thought this was really well done. Grabs a guy's leg, flips him up, he puts it up, does a great kick right into a guy's nuts, makes the fire hose fly right into a guy's nuts. Feel the impact. Just doing a great job. I mean, just using a fire hose as a weapon, and it looks great. It's well done. It's wide shots, not up close and schizophrenic epileptic style like the next film would do. Just a very entertaining sequence. Even at the end where people are tangled up, he turns it on so people are flying up, entangled in these fire hoses. Fights the henchwoman. Very brief fight. I kind of thought the fight would be a bit longer, but it's pretty brief. A little bit too brief, considering she was one of the major villains. I think it could have been a longer fight. I mean, it doesn't matter that she's a woman. It shouldn't matter. It just seemed a bit too brief. If I learn how to talk, brief. But he pretty much kicks her and she gets impaled. Well, PG-13 style impaled. Guy's in the plane, he chases after it, grabs onto the landing gear, and then pretty much beats the fuck out of the guy on the plane. At the end, we see the bad guy training with this sort of Vulcan body. I forget what the hell you call it. Didn't do much good because there's no swords on there. Jason just beats the shit out of him, punches him in the face. Can't kill him because he's put the antidote in him. And gets the bad guy, and I guess everyone's now cured because of the guy. And I'm sure again there's your thinking cap going, wait a minute, well, what about this person? What about that person? I know they did say something about how the virus would be like, this is a very unique virus they made because it doesn't turn on for like a couple hours and then it'll turn off in like a certain amount of hours, and you're thinking, does a virus ever actually do that? That you could have it turn on at a certain point, then it'll turn off after a certain amount of time? And like, this is a very, very specific virus. So yeah, I know the bullshit meter is counting. But again, you either go with it or you don't. These were comic book fantasy movies a la Commando back in the day and so forth. And either you're in for the ride or you're not. And the ride was fun. And it was entertaining. Jason Statham worked well. Didn't get boring. Well done fight sequences. Solid choreography by Corey Yun. Well directed because you understood what was going on. The editing worked perfectly fine. This is how it should be done in these two films. This is how it should be done. So you understand what's going on. You're not confused. You're not annoyed. You're not having a headache. And to me, these are the only two good transporter films. Fun, popcorn entertainment. Unfortunately, they didn't end with that because you have one more. What about Transporter Refueled? Well, first off, I can't find it to watch online. Second off, I'm not going to break my head over to find it, let alone get a virus from it. And third, I'm not paying money to do it. Transporter Refueled, more like get fucked. Or, I don't talk about the movie. The movie didn't get fucked. Just like the Transporter 3 could get fucked. They both actually can fuck each other in a 69 gangbang, for all I care. Fuck those movies. But the next one I will talk about because it is Jason Statham, and to be honest, Transport Refueled is like a reboot, prequels, whatever the fuck it is. Whatever. Fuck that movie. Anyway, next time I'll talk about Transporter 3 by fucking Olivier Mediton as be a Megatron because he's fucking Decepticon because he deceives people out of their fucking money. Should fucking give the money back. And I'll rant about that shit next time. Later.